Allison Techmeyer, and I am a graduate student at Grand Canyon University studying early childhood education. As an educator, we study the importance of early literacy skills development and the impact of that development on early reading skills. Children start to learn language from the day they are born. As they grow and develop, their speech and language skills become increasingly more complex. They learn to understand and use language to express their ideas, thoughts, and feelings, and to communicate with others. During early speech and language development, children learn skills that are important to the development of early reading and literacy skills. Parents can see their child's growing appreciation and enjoyment of print as he or she begins to recognize words that rhyme, scribble with crayons, point out logos and signs, and name some letters of the alphabet. Gradually, children combine what they know about speaking and listening with what they know about print and become ready to learn to read and write. Two key terms when talking about early literacy and early reading skills are phonological and phonemic awareness. Phonological awareness is the ability to recognize that words are made up of a variety of sound units. As a child develops phonological awareness, they not only come to understand that words are made up of small sound units called phonemes, they also learn that words can be segmented into larger sound chunks such as syllables, and each syllable begins with a sound onset and each ends with another sound called a rhyme. A child with a strong phonological awareness should be able to recognize and use rhyme, break words into syllables, blend phonemes into syllables and words, identify the beginning and ending sounds in a syllable, and see smaller words within larger words, such as cat in catalog. While phonemic awareness also involves an understanding of the ways that sound functions in words, it deals only with one aspect of sound, the phoneme. A phoneme is the smallest unit of sound in a language that holds meaning. Almost all words are made up of a number of phonemes blended together. Consider the word cat. It is made up of three phonemes, k, a, t. Each of its sounds affects the meaning. Take away the c or the k and replace it with h, and you have an entirely different word. Change the a to sound, or to and again the meaning changes. A reader with strong phonemic awareness will demonstrate the ability to hear rhyme and alliteration, the repetition of the same consonant sound at the beginning of several different words used in sentence or paragraph. They'll be able to find the different sound in a set of words such as bat, ball, and wet, and blend and segment phonemes. There are many areas in which early literacy skills are related to early reading skills, and you can help your child develop these areas. Print concepts. Knowing about print is important to early reading skills. Children need to learn that we read from left to right. There is difference between pictures and print, and that there are different types of punctuation, and that letters make up words. They should be able to recognize print around them and point out letters and words. An activity you can do with your child is to encourage your child to play with print. Have them pretend to write a shopping list, construct a stop sign, write a letter, make a birthday card. In order to make this a little more advanced, you can have your child spell out the words along with you. Letter naming. Knowledge of the alphabet letters is a strong predictor of short and long-term reading success. The learning of letter names mediates the ability to remember the sounds associated with the letters of their phonological representation. Once again, there is a reciprocal relationship between skills. Letter knowledge plays an influential role in the development of phonological awareness, and higher levels of letter knowledge are associated with children's ability to detect and manipulate phonemes. An activity you can do with your child is called alphabet soup. Place letters in a soup pot and give your child a ladle. They scoop out a letter and then walk around the house or the room looking for that letter. To make this a little more challenging, you can have your child name an object that begins with that letter. You can also simply have your child name that letter. You can even add in letter sounds. Vocabulary. Your child's vocabulary is an indicator of what their reading skills will be. A child who has more extensive vocabulary will be able to understand more words when reading. They'll be able to use their vocabulary to learn what other words mean while reading, and therefore acquire new words rapidly. Children with large vocabularies become attuned to these segments and acquire new words rapidly. Children with smaller vocabularies may be limited to more global distinctions. Vocabulary size and vocabulary rate are important for lexical restructuring, making sound distinctions between words, and are strongly tied to the emergence of phonological awareness. Children's store of specialized vocabulary or rare words and stock of root words are critical predictors of future reading ability. An activity you can do with your child is to make a book of vocab words. Write down words that are new and put them on a ring. Draw a picture to show the meaning of the word. You can even, to make this a little more difficult, add the definition to the word and make it into a little memory game. Phonological awareness. Discriminating units of language, such as words, segments, and phonemes, is linked to successful reading. Children must not only be able to recite and play with sound units, they must develop an understanding that sound units map into whole or parts of written language. You can play a rhyming game with your child. Make cards with pictures of words that rhyme and ask your child to tell you what each picture is. Make each word sound and ask what words sound similar or rhyme. You can make this a little more challenging by then playing a memory match game with the cards. Listening. Spoken language skills, especially phonological awareness and listening comprehension, are fundamental precursors to later successful reading. Children with limitations in phonological processing are at risk for early decoding problems, which can then lead to problems of reading comprehension. Children with problems of listening comprehension are at risk for reading comprehension problems even if they can decode words. An activity you can do with your child is have conversations with your child. Pause after speaking to show that you are listening to their response. Ask questions about what they say to show that you are listening and understand what they said. And this can go in both directions. Speaking. There are several ways oral language development can prepare children for reading and writing. Children learn through oral language the structure of language and that it communicates meaning. Children who can articulate their words and thoughts clearly have an advantage to learning to read and write over those children who have poor oral language skills. Oral language exposition builds a desire to use language for a variety of purposes, such as reading, writing, and listening. An activity you can do is to have your child give them a bunch of blocks. Tell your child to give you directions on how to build a tower. You can make this more difficult by having them give you directions how to build a more difficult, complex structure. Comprehension. Without comprehension, reading is a frustrating, pointless exercise in word calling. It is no exaggeration to say that how well students develop the ability to comprehend what they read has a profound effect on their entire lives. A major goal of reading comprehension instruction, therefore, is to help students develop the knowledge, skills, and experience they must have in order to become competent and enthusiastic readers. Activity. Ask children to tell you a familiar story. They can act it out and tell you what they are doing and why they think that it is part of the story. To make this more challenging, read a new story and ask your child to tell you the story back. Having strong phonological and phonemic awareness will help set your child up to become a strong reader. Being able to understand that words make sounds, that you can break words down into sounds, and you can manipulate sounds and words and change the word and meaning are very helpful skills when reading. Work with your child to develop their phonological and phonemic awareness, and they will be strong readers for life.